And welcome back, everyone, to part 13 of What If Naruto ate a Devil Fruit, the Kage Kage no Mi edition. Last time on Naruto What If, we actually saw the death of Itachi, the death of Obito, and the return of Orochimaru. And I was basically asking in the comments for people's opinions on the subject, yes, giving the butt scratch on right here. Butt scratch is good. Butt scratch is good. That if they thought the stealing of one's shadow, would that work with Kamui? And everyone pretty much agreed that, yeah, by all accounts, it should work. Obito, because we can still see him and we're not seeing through him, means that light particles are still not passing through him, and therefore, one second, I let my dog out. There you go, Papa. Therefore, it's casting a shadow still. Beyond that, someone also pointed out that even if it didn't cast a shadow, which as far as we can tell it did, Obito is very rarely ever fully using Kamui on himself. He's usually only doing part of his body. And so that made sense. So he got captured, or he got his souls taken and therefore killed. But Orochimaru showed up in the Rain Village and made a deal with Pain. Bring me the 8 tails, and I will bring you Sasuke Uchiha. But I gotta go and get the 9 tails because A, Sasuke's in the village, so in order for me to honor that deal, I need to go to the village. But B, the 9 tails in the village, Naruto's in the village. So now you have 2 separate factions of Akatsuki going to get 2 separate tail beasts. Now, what is going on in the village at this time? Well, after it's all said and done, they bring Obito's body back to the morgue for examination. And unfortunately, yes, Tsunade is able to confirm with DNA that they had on file, whatever they need to do, that this is in fact Obito Uchiha. And Kakashi is both shocked and saddened to learn what has become of his friend. The teammate he thought was dead that gave his life to save him years ago. How this happened? What happened? He wants answers, but he knows he'll probably never get them. And so he mourns this. He mourns the loss of his friend yet again. But we're not done yet, because as they're going over it, they get the report that Jiraiya has passed away, was killed in action. And this rocks everyone, particularly Naruto, to his core. That, Jiraiya, the second father figure to him. Father figure to him, because he's his godfather. Technically, this paternal figure to him. This good man, despite his perfect nature, this good man has passed. And so Naruto goes through the motions of mourning as he does in the original. Ultimately, it's Iruka who I believe snaps him out of it. And Jiraiya obviously sent the message, the real one isn't there, and ultimately goes to train with the Toads. Meanwhile, training with the Toads, Sasuke ultimately comes to the conclusion about Itachi that yes, he in order to learn everything he can, he needs to avenge Itachi. He needs to avenge his clan in more ways than one. And so, with the permission from the Hokage, they do the surgery to insert the eyes. Because Sasuke has gained his Mangekyo Sharingan at this point, but he also has gained his... he hasn't gained the Mangekyo. He's gained Itachi's eyes, so to replace them, he can gain the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Now, we don't know how long it took Sasuke to recover. We do know it took a little bit of time, though. It wasn't like just one and done. He was good to go. We actually don't know when the surgery actually took place, nor do we know exactly how long it took for Sasuke to recover, but we assume it took a couple days. And so during this time, Naruto is training with the Toads, obviously to learn Sage Mode, and therefore throw the Rasen Sharingan even without his shadow. But one thing I think Naruto could figure out is how to use Senjutsu with his shadow. And surprisingly, I think his shadow itself can utilize... Sorry, I bumped my camera up on the laptop. Can utilize Senjutsu. It, by standing still, can absorb Senjutsu because it can just reconnect to Naruto and redistribute the Senjutsu within Naruto. Naruto still needs to train with accessing Senjutsu because if he does that wrong, it'll be like what happened with the Predapath, where it absorbed Naruto's chakra, its Sage chakra, and turned to stone. So if Naruto doesn't learn how to do this from the get, it could be you're gonna have a bad time. But to be fair, this would be something just akin to what Naruto did with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, where he immediately was absorbing nature chakra with the Shadow Clones, poofed out of existence, and the clones, the chakra went back to him. So it'd be something akin to that. It's just something that he could do immediately on the battlefield without the need to make more shadow clones. Because they did go out of their way to explain, at least initially in the pain fight, that he could only make a couple clones at a time while balancing the senjutsu. I think they said he could make like 3 clones while having the 2 like gathering natural chakra. I think that was like his limit. But because of that, yeah, he might keep a clone. He might figure out the clone thing as well, but this allows him to kind of spam more clones while still keeping his shadow, available. So unfortunately, while one's recovering, one's training, the pain attacks the village. Now, the invasion of Pain, I think, would still go the same, except one of the Pains would probably be going out of his way to look for Sasuke, not knowing where he is. Particularly confronting Kakashi, like, I'm here for Naruto, Uzumaki, and Sasuke Uchiha. It's like, what do you want with Naruto? I understand. What do you want with Sasuke? I'm a man of my word, Kakashi Hatake, and I have a bargain. No, I have a commitment to fulfill, uphold. And then Kakashi thinks as Orochimaru. He's back within your ranks, isn't he? You are indeed smart, Kakashi Hatake. A threat that I cannot allow to continue. And then so him and Kakashi fight it out for a bit. Ultimately, Kakashi does, die, at least temporarily. So Pain basically does the whole, AoE, wipes out a lot of the village. Sasuke, to be fair, Sasuke, even without his eyes, is still very dangerous. Like, he can still fight if he has to. It's just a matter of relying on all his other senses. But that's neither here nor there, as Naruto does eventually show up. And he meets up with Lady Tsunade. It's all right, guy. I got it from here. He destroys the Azura path. And the fight goes down. Now, the fight between Naruto and Pain would look very similar, with the caveat that Naruto is creating multiple clones, keeping his main shadow still in the back, gathering Sage Chakra. So honestly, it actually works better in my opinion than the Shadow clone, because the Shadow collecting natural chakra, nature chakra, works a little better because it can just immediately connect to Naruto instead of just having to displace. And therefore, Naruto technically never has to run out of Sage Chakra if he's so inclined. My guess, though, is he'll still do it like the Shadow separates from him. If he really needs to, he can swap places with it. But what Naruto can do is some of his other Shadow clones, they can Shadow Blitz all day, all night until the Pains are done. He throws the Rasen Shuriken. The David Path still would regain access to Shinra Tensei. And he would blow the clones back initially. Naruto runs out of Sage Mode, but uses his Shadow again. Pain notices this. Like, his Shadow was able to just replenish his Sage Chakra. And so Naruto does the Rasen Shuriken, again, the Shinra Tensei. Naruto and Shadow are now kind of going toe-to-toe, but the Preta Path comes in, starts to absorb Naruto's chakra, but and this would have probably been when he ran out the init first time. I am a little jumbled in this, but it's all playing out similar but different. Preta Path comes, gets Sage Chakra absorbed, turns into Toad. Naruto breaks out of it. His Shadow connects with him again, replenishing his Sage Chakra. Now, the question would be, could Naruto take the chakra, or take the the shadows of the Paths of Pain? And there's a two-way answer to that. One is, yes, he absolutely could take the shadows. They're still casting shadows. But it wouldn't, I think, do anything. At least, the analogy I would use here, it's like empty calories, because his shadow is technically consuming and storing those clones. It is essentially like empty calories, like eating cake or cupcakes, because those shadows, while being cast, are not Pain himself. Like, Nagato are not Nagato himself. Technically speaking, all 7 of those are Nagato, but they're not Nagato. They're not his shadow. So while he's projecting his consciousness, his essence, however you want to explain, start putting his chakra in there, it's maybe like only a fraction of Nagato. So even if he were to steal every one of those Paths of Pain shadow, I don't think it would be truly taking Nagato's power. It'd be kind of similar to the Shikaku, where it's taking maybe like a fragment, but it wouldn't be enough to really matter much. For example, he's not, if he takes the path, I mean, each path has a different ability, so in theory, Naruto could do that, but it's a very odd circumstance, this scenario. It's even weirder than I think the Tailby scenario, because again, it's not Nagato himself in those bodies, but each body has its own ability that he is siphoning in through the chakra rods that are connected to him. So it's a very weird thing. I'm going to go with not exactly, he'd have to take all the paths and Nagato in order for that to really work, I think. However, what can work is this. Naruto is, Pain throws out another Shinra Tensei. Naruto brings out his Diamond Dust, which is now also enhanced with Sage Chakra, create basically a giant diamond shield, which is contesting with the Shinra Tensei, I'd imagine. Because we do know that something with enough power, force, gravity, whatever, can resist a Shinra Tensei. Look what the Six Tails Naruto did. Well, look what all Naruto with his clones did at the end of the fight. You can fight back a Shinra Tensei. So I imagine Naruto is kind of like holding his ground. He's being thrown back, but Naruto is noting the repulsive force. But it'd be Fugatsu, I believe that's his name, who mentions that he's got a 5-second interval, boy. And it's repulsive force. It's think of it like a dome, and Naruto just thinks, wait a minute, and then Naruto comes in and says, "This is over." Nothing. The only thing that is over is your lack of not. I'm going to end this. This is only the beginning of true pain and understanding, Naruto, and you are the key to it. And so Busho Tenin, and then it does another Shinra to pull him in, only for him to get chakra. Naruto breaks the chakra, has a Rasengan right in hand, but then Shinra Tensei, and Naruto, in a quick motion, swaps places with his shadow. And this is where Naruto actually does have a counter to Shinra Tensei. Because a shadow doesn't have any mass to it whatsoever. Yes, anything that is casting a shadow on the ground would be moved, but it's not the shadow moving, it's the object. Shadows have no form of mass to them. Naruto can give his shadow form and mass, but if he just decides, okay, no form or mass for you, it's just a shadow that moves on its own, well, now it's like, hi there, I'm right here. And Pain immediately sees this, go, what? And then Naruto just swap places again, and it's boom, Rasengan him right to the face, or crystal, or diamond sword, or whatever. Or he tries to avoid the Rasengan, and then the diamond cut blade like Naruto creates, just and then just drops the final Pain. Naruto ultimately, though, does take the chakra rod, insert it himself, finds Nagato. I imagine that conversation will go pretty much the same. Yes, they didn't have their conversation previously about, what are you going to do to break the cycle of hatred. They didn't have that conversation, admittedly. But I think that conversation maybe happens a bit later down the road. Or at least happens in this scenario here. Naruto talks about the book that Jiraiya wrote, and ultimately Nagato does agree to what Naruto's saying, and ultimately revives everyone's lives lost, including Kakashi. Kakashi then gets Naruto, who's probably tired out, and all's well that ends well with the village. Sasuke eventually does get his eyes. Although, that still is raising a question about one thing. Where is Danzo's place in all this? I haven't really addressed much of Danzo in this one. And to be fair, there's a reason for that. Danzo did not play a big factor in the series. Really, he put Sai on the team, but his real impact in the series was directly at the beginning of the Pain arc where he killed the frog. Which I'm not saying where, but I put one of the dumbest decisions in Naruto list, Shippuden. You can go check that out. But it's only until once the Kage Summit is called and he declares that he should be the next Hokage, that's where his role really picks up. Now, because Sasuke's in the village and because he has his eyes, he is a target for Danzo as well. But Danzo probably, with the attack on the village, isn't going to just go after Sasuke. At least not always. There are circumstances where I have that happen. However, I don't think that's going to be the case here. Sasuke ultimately does recover, And his eyes are, he's got his eternal Mangekyo going. And all's well that ends well there. But what about the second half of this little adventure we got going on here? Conan also takes Naruto's body away. So what about the second part? Well, you see two figures basically strolling into Kumo, Orochimaru, and Deidara. And every once in a while you hear like a light explosion, and iron dust just comes up and catches it. Deidara, are you really going to just keep attacking me all the time? It's like, you killed my main man. You're the reason I'm part of this organization and being with you, you pale-faced pedo bastards. Like, oh, please. I'm far more elegant than that, Deidara. I have no desire in such carnal pleasures. Please, don't make me laugh. Which, by the way, we actually don't know. I believe Orochimaru's sexuality. Now, that's important. A lot of people kind of make him out to be a pedophile, but as far as we know, he's not. But we don't know what, if any, his sexuality. Actually, no. Everyone has a sexuality. You could be asexual. That is still considered a sexuality. My guess is, though, he actually is probably asexual. He has no interest in sex or romantic relationships. Asexual people can have romantic relationships. They just don't have any sexual physical desires. I actually get the impression that's what it's like for him. Well, him. Technically, Orochimaru is a them. Because he's taken so many bodies. He technically has no gender either. But for all intent and purposes, the version he portrays himself as is a guy, so we call him a him. But yeah, as far as I know, he's asexual. As far as I guess, which would make a lot of sense given everything we've seen from the series. But Orochimaru basically just doesn't actually say that, but kind of just rebuffs him and say, well, once you're done with this and the Akatsuki have their goals, you'll never see me again, Deidara. Well, that's one and believe me, the feeling's mutual. Sasori, I could get along with them more than your boisterous, your childlike attitude. And then they get to their target. They see him. They're just practicing his rap. I believe it's Ichi or Iki rap. I can't remember exactly what it's called. And Killer Beach, oh, who you suckers? I'm trying to be as not white guy doing a black voice as possible here. But, it's like, who you guys? That's the voice I always heard, by the way, in my head when I saw him in the manga. Apparently, it's not quite his voice, but I always pictured Don Kanoji. That's why the spirits are always with you. Like, that's what I always kind of figured with his voice. Like, A's voice is not the voice in the dub that I pictured when I pictured a lot more gruff and growly than what it is. But anyway, it's like, yes, B, it's been a while, B. It's like, wait, we met before? I don't remember you at all. Unfortunately, we're going to need you to come with us now. Oh, I see. And like, based on your robes, you must be what they're called the Akatsuki. Well, well then, yeah, I'm afraid I can't let you to try to take me away. You see, as much as I'd love to leave the village, it ain't gonna be with you, idiots. And so it's like, oh, whatever. And Deidara just tries to go. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, oh yeah, and just fires off some. He takes his pencil, does what he does with Kasami, just mantles a bomb right there. It's like, huh? It's like, and like, oh, you want to play? All right. And just. 1 to the 0 to the 1 to the 3, and my name is I float like a butterfly, sting like a killer bee, which I believe is something he did say, something like that. And so it's like, and Orochimaru just coughs up his blade. Unfortunately, and he immediately goes after Deidara in the sky, and Deidara's like, what the hell is with this guy? He just rips through the bird. I was like, crap. It just throws out bombs. The Killer Bee immediately just puts on a version 1 cloak. It's like, I can't get through this guy. What the hell? It's like, that's because Deidara, fall back, Deidara. I have him. And he just launches his, not Tosca blade. He's got the Kusasari blade. I believe that's what it's called. It's called the Grass Longsword in the original, or in the dub. But, it extends. And Killer's like, oh, that's a pretty cool blade, boy. Let me show you more. That's a pretty cool blade, man. Let me show you my footwork. And then, or let me show you how my blades work. And it just comes in. And it's like, I can't predict him. He's fast. And just, Orochimaru, when you start to get torn up, just launches out, striking Shadow Snake. And Killer Bee just lightning just slices through him like he's just mowing them down. It's like, and Orochimaru's just, not, quite the irritation bee. And then he summons just a giant amount of snakes, just kind of bind him up to get some distance. It's like, ugh! And then all of a sudden, the snakes press him, and Deidara kind of collects it. What? This guy's no joke. The 8-tailed Jinchuriki is impressive indeed. Unfortunately, with this lightning shock, your explosion release is going to be negated. So we need to think about a different plan. All of a sudden, chakra comes off him, and they see the version 2 cloak. And Orochimaru's like, Shibara-shimon! Oh, trying to close the gate. Trying to lock me out, I see. Well, you can't keep out the Kenobi! And then there's, oh yeah! And this tail beast spawns right through it. Orochimaru summons Manda. It's like, what, Orochimaru? Why have you summoned me here? Huh? What is that little thing down there? The 8-tailed Jinchuriki. The 8-tails! And even Manda probably wouldn't want... Like, Gamabunta even said, why would I want to mess with that guy when it came to Shikaku, who is, by all accounts, the weakest tail beast? So why the hell with Manda, who is arguably... It is believed that arguably he's stronger than Gamabunta, although that's debatable. I believe NC Hammer Nick did a video on which is the strongest summons. But... Manda still probably doesn't want to be tackling with tail beasts if he can help it. Oh, it's like, I see you want to go all out. Let's try this, baby. And it just turns into this 8-tail horn. It's like, saying, yeah, just starts messing and just boom, manhandling Manda because he got the gorilla arms for it. Just boom, boom. Oh, damn you, Orochimaru. And Deidara's like, finally, and like, my art can be truly appreciated. And he tries to even use I believe it's the C4, which is the one that breaks down your cells more or less. And he even tries to act, and Orochimaru notices that he's got it, that because of what he's trying to do, he's trying to kill Orochimaru too. Orochimaru quickly would know how, because he has lightning chakra, so he just disables it. And Killer Bee notices it too, so he immediately just, not gonna work, small little fly, just smacks down Deidara, who's just beating him bloody. It's like, well, this isn't quite how it was supposed to go. This was supposed to go. Deidara's starting to laugh. Like, why are you laughing, Deidara? Because I finally have an out from you idiots, and I can finally show the true power of my art. And to prove finally, once and for all, that art isn't something that lasts. Art is instant. He just gets the clay, opens the mouth on his chest, and just and Orochimaru's like, damn it! Just he starts like hightailing out and trying to meld them around, just move as fast as he can. Art is something beautiful in a moment, instant. Art is an explosion, and then just I believe it's the C0, just the boom, the giant radius nuke, and our Killer Bee does get caught up in it. Orochimaru gets out of the rubble, goes around, sees Killer Bee there, and he takes him with him, seals him away. He gets him back to the area, and Zetsu does meet up with him. Unfortunately, Orochimaru says, I fulfilled my end of the bargain, but poor Deidara didn't make it. Yeah, you seem beat up about that, but that's not important. Look, Pain lost. Excuse me? Pain lost. He's dead. Naruto killed him. Unbelievable. The Nine-Tails Brat was able to kill the wielder of the Rinnegan. Unmanageable. Unbelievable. Of course. And then finally, just, well, no matter. The plan can still go on as was originally scripted. But wait, what do you mean the plan goes? Yes, about that. And then finally, all of a sudden, Deidara gets scared. You're going to tell me exactly what was Leader Sama planning anyway. Just binding like the two Zetsus there. And so we end part 13. I think part 14 will be the last part of this series. We've gone off the rails now. Like we are I am now pretty much fanficking at this point, which is what some people kind of like want me to do every once in a while, which I don't generally do unless it kind of fits. But we have to deal with Danzo and what his ultimate plans are going to try to be. And we're going to deal with Orochimaru and what his ultimate plans are ultimately going to try to be. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the last one next week. Probably the last one. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.